Attention all pet owners. Your next vacation to Italy could turn into a legal headache if you don't know what Rome's pet laws actually require. Because in Rome, walking your dog is not just a good habit and a responsible ownership. In Rome, it is the law. The city has animal welfare bylaws that legally require dog owners to provide their pets with daily walks and proper exercise. And failure to comply in documented cases of neglect or abusive confinement can result in fines that some reports place at around €700. This is a reflection of something much bigger, a shift in how one of the world's oldest cities has decided to think about the animals that share it. In this video, we are going to break down exactly why this law exists, how it works in practice today in 2026, and what it tells us about the future of urban animal welfare around the world. Whether you are a dog owner planning a trip to Italy, someone curious about how cities govern compassion, or just a person who loves animals, this story is worth understanding. In 2005, Rome introduced an animal welfare framework through its municipal bylaws, a set of rules that went further than most cities in the world were willing to go at the time. The core principle was straightforward but radical in its implications. A dog is a living creature with biological and psychological needs. Those needs do not disappear because its owner is busy, tired, or simply doesn't feel like going outside. Daily exercise, outdoor activity, physical movement, fresh air was framed not as a luxury for pets but as a basic requirement of responsible ownership. Under this framework, keeping a dog confined without adequate exercise or outdoor access is treated as a form of neglect. And neglect under Rome's codes carries consequences. Fines for violations in documented cases involving clear neglect or abusive confinement can reach around €700, depending on the severity of the situation and the context of enforcement. This figure has been widely cited in Italian and international media as a benchmark for how seriously the city takes these obligations. It is not a flat fee that applies uniformly to every minor oversight, but it signals clearly that the city considers this a matter worth penalizing. How did Rome get here? The shift did not happen overnight. Italy's broader cultural relationship with animals, particularly dogs, which hold a place of enormous affection in Italian urban life, created fertile ground for stronger protections. Animal rights movements gained momentum through the 1990s and early 2000s. Public pressure pushed legislators to stop treating pets purely as property and start treating their welfare as a matter of public interest. Rome, a city defined by its layers of history, added a new one, a legal layer that said, if you bring an animal into your home, you are taking on a duty that the city will hold you to. So what does the law actually require? At its core, it frames proper dog care around three pillars: daily exercise, socialization, and mental stimulation. These pillars are embedded in the welfare framework as genuine expectations of ownership. Media reports and official communications from Rome have often described a general guideline of around 3 walks per day as a benchmark for adequate exercise. It is worth being clear. This is widely reported as a guideline and general recommendation, not a rigid rule written into every clause of the law. The underlying principle is consistent access to outdoor activity, not a specific number enforced by stopwatch. But the message is unambiguous. A dog left alone in an apartment for days without outdoor access is not receiving adequate care. And in Rome, that matters legally. The welfare framework goes further than just walks. Italy, in line with broader European Union animal welfare standards, has placed significant restrictions on cosmetic surgeries performed on dogs, including tail docking and ear cropping. These procedures, common in some countries for breed appearance standards, are treated in Italy not as owner preference, but as unnecessary harm to a sentient animal. The law reflects a clear position. An animal's body should not be altered for aesthetics at the cost of its health and comfort. This sits within a broader Italian legal culture that has moved steadily toward recognizing animals as more than property. In recent years, Italy has seen serious discussions and in some cases formal recognition of animals as sentient beings deserving of state protection. This is not unique to Italy. The European Union's own founding treaties acknowledge animal sentience, but Italy has been among the countries pushing the principle further into domestic law and municipal governance. Rome's dog walking requirement is not an isolated eccentricity. It is one visible expression of a legal philosophy that asks, what do we owe the creatures that live alongside us? A law is only as meaningful as its enforcement. So how does Rome actually monitor whether dogs are being walked? The honest answer is, imperfectly, like most animal welfare enforcement anywhere in the world. You cannot follow every dog owner home. You cannot install a camera in every apartment. And you cannot prove, on any given Tuesday, that a specific dog was not walked that morning. What authorities can do is respond to visible indicators. local police, municipal animal welfare officers, and in some areas, volunteer animal protection groups monitor parks, residential streets, and public spaces for signs of neglect or abuse. A dog that is visibly underweight. A dog displaying stress behaviors consistent with chronic confinement. A dog that has no outdoor access whatsoever. Citizens play a significant role too. Rome has developed what some journalists have described as a community watchdog culture, where neighbors report suspected cases of confined or maltreated animals to municipal authorities. These reports can trigger inspections, welfare checks, and in serious cases, formal proceedings. The system is designed to punish someone whose dog missed a single morning walk and to address sustained neglect, situations where an animal's basic needs are chronically unmet. That distinction matters. The law is a framework that takes animal welfare seriously enough to give authorities the tools to act when things go genuinely wrong. And in a city as dense and communal as Rome, where life spills onto streets, into courtyards, and across neighborhoods, the social enforcement of these norms can be just as powerful as the legal enforcement. People notice and speak up. And in Rome, the expectation that your dog will be walked is a legal and social one. Rome is not alone in this approach, but it is part of a smaller group of cities and countries that have chosen to encode animal welfare into enforceable law. Germany is frequently cited as one of Europe's strictest environments for dog ownership. Under various state-level animal welfare laws, sometimes referred to collectively in media as Hundegesetz frameworks, German dog owners face clear expectations around exercise, outdoor access, and socialization. Some German states have gone further, requiring competency assessments before certain breeds can be owned. The underlying principle mirrors Rome's. Owning a dog is a legal responsibility, not just a lifestyle choice. Other European cities and countries have adopted similar approaches, treating the physical and psychological needs of pets as legitimate concerns of governance, not merely private matters. The contrast with many urban centers in North America and parts of Asia is significant, though it is worth approaching that contrast fairly. In many North American cities, the conversation around pets is shaped heavily by property rights and rental regulations. The barrier to pet ownership is often not legal responsibility, it is landlord permission. No pets policies in rental housing affect millions of urban dwellers. Daily walks may be encouraged but are rarely a legal mandate in the same way Rome frames them. What Rome's model offers is a different question entirely. Not can you own a dog, but if you do, what are you legally obligated to provide? That shift from permission to responsibility is what makes the Roman approach genuinely distinctive. And in 2026, as cities around the world reconsider their relationships with urban animals, it is a model that more places are beginning to examine seriously. Since stricter animal welfare laws took hold in Rome and across Italy, there have been reports of positive shifts, reduced numbers of stray animals, improved veterinary care culture, and broader public awareness of what responsible pet ownership actually involves. These outcomes are difficult to attribute to any single law, but the direction of change has been noted by animal welfare organizations working in the region. Looking ahead to 2026 and beyond, technology is beginning to enter the conversation. Some cities and research groups are exploring smart collars and activity trackers as tools that could, in theory, monitor whether pets are receiving adequate exercise. In most places, these remain experimental, voluntary, or commercially driven, not standard legal enforcement mechanisms. The idea of mandatory digital tracking for pets raises significant questions about privacy, cost, and practicality that no city has fully resolved. But the conversation is happening, and it reflects something real: the growing belief that animal welfare is not a soft issue on the margins of urban policy. It is a serious question about what kind of cities we want to build, and what obligations we accept when we share those cities with other living creatures. Rome's dog walking law began as a municipal bylaw in 2005. In the years since, it has become something more, a symbol of a broader shift in how law can reflect values. It says an animal in your care has needs that the state will recognize. It says compassion is not just a personal virtue, it can be a legal requirement. And it says that the right to walk your dog is at the same time a duty to protect its health and happiness. In a world that is still deciding what we owe each other, Rome has already decided what we owe our dogs.